Hey Rockstars, Lid Shaw. I'm here at AES New York City 2019, and I'm standing here with John Tatooles. How are you, John?
Good seeing you, Lid.
Hey, so John is the co-founder of an amazing company called Sound Devices, and you guys are based out of Madison, Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, we're in the Madison area.
That's a cool place to be.
It is in the summertime.
Yeah, it's pretty chilly in the wintertime.
It can be, yes.
So now, before we get into all the details, we're going to show you guys some of these amazing portable recording location devices that you create.
Yep.
How long have you guys been doing this?
21 years.
That's awesome. All right. And are you like very technically inclined? Are you the one who was like tearing apart your clock radio and trying to figure out how to build a microphone and everything?
I think all of us are quite technical. My business partner Matt is our genius behind the preamplifiers and the A to Ds and all the circuitry.
You're the visionary.
I'm certainly a visionary. We got a lot of great people that are visionaries, so we got an amazing team back up in Wisconsin.
Are you the one who was like, Matt, you know what? That's awesome, and we could probably pay for our beers with that one day.
You know, when we started out, we were a pure startup. We started out in the upstairs above a paint store in Park Ridge, Illinois.
Great, man. I love that.
We truly, paid our dues.
Recording Studio Rockstars is all about the recording studio, and we like to also get outside of the studio, record stuff elsewhere. But I know that what you make sounds amazing because I've heard it and it's awesome, and I'm really excited to dig into the MixPre 10 as well myself. But let's just show it off. What are you guys showing here?
So we have the MixPre 3, and then there's two other models, the MixPre 6 and the MixPre 10.
Okay, cool. And those are these guys right over here?
Yeah. So these are these two pieces here. So the MixPre 6 and the MixPre 10 over here. And
cool.
These are all essentially the same architecture. The difference is the number of inputs and a little bit of the routing capability. So they all have superb mic preamplifiers, 142 dB of dynamic range, and most importantly, great amount of gain. Clean, low noise gain for applications like podcasting and things like that, where you may have a low sensitivity dynamic microphone. Like
this guy right here, this SM7 is notoriously, and that's the right choice of word because notorious means you're famous for bad things. It's notoriously extremely high gain to get it to work and can be noisy at times.
Right, so on an SM7 you're going to be upwards of 70 plus dB of gain, and you need that just to get a good clean signal from it. So that's something that all of these products have built in. Tremendous amount of gain, but lots of power from the mixing standpoint and the recording standpoint. So the MixPre 3 here can record your left, right, as well as each of the three inputs. So you can record a 5-channel polyfile directly into an SD card. Right?
Okay, so now here, let's get in close one more time, because I want you rock stars to see just how cute this thing is. See if you can get a shot of the top of it a little bit too, up here, so you can really see the size. This thing is like the size of my hand. It's really awesome. I almost could see you one day putting this on a little battery-powered drone and just lift it right up in the air. It's so awesome.
Yes,
but I heard one of these doing a podcast interview, and I was blown away with the quality of the MixPres, and I couldn't believe that we were recording with batteries and it sounded that good in the headphones.
We've had the advantage of, over the years, 21 years of technology from when we first started doing our first battery-powered circuits to now being able to do not just the preamplifiers like we did in the early days, but also the recording capability, multitrack, all in the field, all into a very compact little box.
So now you guys have a cool name for these. Is it the Kashmir MixPres? That's right?
Yeah, so these we introduced them as Kashmir MixPres. Not quite sure where the name came from.
Well, it's an homage to Led Zeppelin, I think, right? Isn't it?
Absolutely. And so these represent great audio performance. So what we've got customers not just from podcasts, but others that are doing sound effects recording, they're doing orchestral recording, they're doing music production with them. So they can take a wide range of signals. And one of the things we've introduced with these MixPre 2, the Series 2 here, is a new architecture on the front end. So these microphone preamplifiers, which are very low noise, are coupled with a multi-stage A to D converter, and then recording off to a 32-bit float file.
Yeah, so I can record 3296 in this thing easily, right?
Right, so it's a 32-bit float, 192. So you've got this massive dynamic range and this massive frequency response representation. So you have this incredible signal And when you throw it into a DAW, it's really gain and variance. So if I'm recording too low, I can boost that and I have no penalty. If I record it too hot and I see my meters are clipping, but I'm recording 32-bit float, if I plug this into a DAW that accepts 32-bit float, I can attenuate that and I can bring those down and I'm not clipped anymore.
That's pretty badass. So I want to mention something too. When I had Joe Ciccarelli on the podcast and we were talking about, I just said like, okay dude, what's the deal? What should we start our Pro Tools sessions at? I remember him telling me 32-bit 96, that was it. So that means I can record outside of the studio with this. I could record in the band rehearsal space, whatever, bring them in, load them into my session, and I've got high-res session files to continue with the stuff. Why don't we take a look at the MixPre 6 here and the MixPre 10 as well, because these are pretty awesome, and you guys are sort of expanding the possibilities of what we can do with these.
Right, so these cover a wide range of applications. So the 3, the 6, the 10, they all have timecode generators on board, so these can be used in a sound for picture context with cameras and for synchronization. So they kind of can fit in a lot of different worlds. In addition to their recording capability, these plugged into a computer operate as an audio interface. So that not only are they a 2-channel interface, you can put it into a multi-channel mode, so you have all the inputs sent directly to a DAW as a multi-channel audio.
That's badass. So I could basically hook one of those up to Pro Tools, record that way, but I think it has a special feature too where it's doing redundant backup. So I hate to say it, but I think we're all familiar with the times where Pro Tools sometimes suddenly and maybe not so mysteriously just drops how to record in the middle of a session. This is also simultaneously recording to SD card, right? And will it also record to a thumb drive or like a USB SSD?
Right, so when it's connected as an interface, you can use the recorder completely independent of that. So you can have your files on that SD card. And then when you have a thumb drive connected to it, when you hit stop, it'll immediately write that file out to the external USB stick.
That's awesome. All right, so let's take a look at the MixPre 10 here. And then also you guys have some really cool stuff hooked up. Some controllers, on an iPad, and then also on a Novation launch controller. Tell us what the deal is with all that.
So the MixPre 10 has more inputs. So this has 8 mic preamplifiers on board. And so again, more I/O. And what we've got this connected with here is this application is what's called Wingman. And Wingman works over iOS or Android on a tablet or a phone. And this gives you metering. It gives you your timecode display. You can also do file metadata, so you can notate your scene and take. You can change your file names. You can arm tracks.
Well, I think with this Wing logo on here, it also just gives me superpowers, right, while I'm recording?
That too. So in addition to the Wingman control, you've got control with these external USB controllers. So
Right, and that's actually just plugged into the USB 2 jack right there, right?
Right. So
and is the Wingman actually over Wi-Fi right now?
Yeah.
Or Bluetooth?
The Wingman is over Bluetooth LE.
Okay.
So that can operate simultaneously with using this as this controller here. So the controller, when you plug in a controller, it just kind of knows, oh, I got a controller. You select which controller you've got, and now you've got fader, you've got input trim, you've got pan, I've got track arming, and I've got record. So you've got, depending on the controller that you're plugged into and what the specific
right. So there's flexibility there because there has to be. And so can you have some of these soft buttons control different functionality inside there as well?
Right. So you can go in and you can select, and again, depending on the controller, you can have some of these soft buttons do different behaviors.
That's pretty cool. Now, I don't think we have it installed now, but you guys have a very cool thing called the Musician plugin. Will you tell us more about that?
Right. So there's a couple of plugins that are available for the 6 and the 10 and the 3. So first of all, the Musician's plugin can work on any of them. And what that turns this into is essentially a little multi-track recorder standalone on its own. So now they all record multiple tracks, but you can do multiple takes. So you can record one track while you're playing back other material. You can mix, do a post mix of that material and record that out to a WAV file and record it to an AAC file. So that right into your little product, you got like this beautiful little workstation. I actually use it to do bass practice. I play bass guitar in a band, and
Nice.
I'll do my own loops, and I'll play back, and I'll do multiple takes, and kind of hear my flubs, and so it's quite enlightening. And it's just so nice to kind of put the DAW away and just have a piece of hardware, and it's just immediate and quick.
Well, one of the things I really appreciated about it is because, of course, we do have portable devices. I mean, I could record multitrack on my phone, which is good for song sketches sometimes, and you can hook up interfaces to an iPad or something like that, but it begins to get complicated quickly. And the beauty of the MixPre 10 is that I could mic up a band in a rehearsal space, which I will be doing soon, and get high quality pre's going so that it actually sounds pretty great, and record, set this down, set some levels, and walk around Wi-Fi with this guy just to control the headphone mix if we want to do headphones, or maybe don't even do headphones, and capture a band and then immediately punch in on stuff. And it sounds very versatile.
Yeah, there's one other plugin available, and that's the Ambisonic plugin. So if you're in a situation where you got a single point surround Ambisonic microphone, you can run that on the MixPre 6 and the MixPre 10, and that unlocks that capability, and then you can record Ambisonic. You can also do a headphone transform for binaural monitoring. It's quite powerful.
That's pretty exciting. Hey, come on in. Well, I just want to show you. So Rockstars, it's actually new to me, this whole Ambisonics thing, but look how cool that mic is. So that is that the Sennheiser or something?
Sennheiser, yeah. So
okay.
Sennheiser has one, Rode has one with their Soundfield. So there's a couple of them available.
And this will record in a 360 globe in all directions, and it records to this on the multitrack, and then I guess you use some sort of decoder to be able to hear it, or how does that work in the end? It just decodes it down to 2-track?
Well, we can decode it on the fly. So in real time, you're listening in headphones and it's being decoded. But oftentimes, you'll record those 4-channel, it's called B format, and then you can take that B format and you can mix it. You can actually record A format as well, which is kind of the raw signal from the microphones. So for folks that are in the Ambisonic world and want flexibility, it gives you many different options for that.
Awesome. Well, that's cool for me, Rockstars. I hope you dig it. I'm looking forward to checking out the MixPre 10. And if they want to learn more about it, where should they go?
You go to our website, sounddevices.com.
Okay, great. Sounddevices.com. Thanks for watching, Rockstars. Make sure you follow us here on Instagram. Go check out Sound Devices on Instagram. Thanks very much, John.
Thanks, take care.
Cheers.